What's up, YouTube?
I don't know why I just did that. Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Is the quality better? Like, no, bull. I need you to be honest. Can you see my pores? Anyways, so hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm very awkward whenever I put a camera in front of my face. This is so awkward. But I decided to make content because obviously I need to make content. And I decided why not put the girlies on to some really cute, really tea nail products, affordable nail products. And it's actually affordable. I mean, every time you need a re-up and you're not making that much bank, I got you, girl. I know what's in your budget. For you guys, so you can all see what I use, what works for me. Obviously, this is not like, take my word, run with it, do whatever you want. But this is just products that work for me the best. You obviously can experiment. I've used a good sum of different nail products. I haven't used as much as I would like because I'm a broke girl. But I have used a few things. And yeah. So first things first, we're going to start with acrylic brushes. So to start with acrylic brushes, it's always good to go to a nail, what's it called? Not a nail salon. What is that called? Nail supply store. Your nail brushes should always be Kolinsky. So no, don't get the Sheen nail brushes. Don't get the Temu nail brushes. Don't get, you can find good ones on Amazon. There's brands like Panama. I think Mia Secret has their own, brush. A lot of the acrylic brands have their own nail brushes, so you can always find a nail brush within the acrylic brand that you like. So Mia Secret, Kiara Skies, Not Polish, V Beauty Pure, etc., etc. So for me, I really like using Saviland's acrylic brushes. I'm gonna put a picture. I use their acrylic brushes. I got a 3-pack. It comes in different sizes. So when using acrylic brushes, you should always look at the different sizes. So there's 8, there's 10, there's 12. And those different sizes basically are how big your beads are gonna be. I always go for an 8, 10. And I like smaller beads. But that all comes with practice and learning what works for you again. So if you get more comfortable using tinier beads, which is always okay to start with tinier beads, because sometimes it takes a long time and it's kind of hard to be able to apply the acrylic and form an apex at first, form the base of the nail. So smaller beads, honestly, longer ways. Don't try to do the 3B method first week of you learning how to do nails. That's not how that works. You kind of have to do the 16 bead method, and that's not a thing, I don't think. So yeah, that leads me to my next thing that I want to give shout out to is acrylic. For acrylic, I use Mia Secret. I have it right here. This is Mia Secret. This is the shade Cover Rose. This is the 1 ounce. They come in 1 ounce, 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 6 ounce, whatever. I want to try Saviland's acrylics, so let me know if you guys want to see more me trying things, you know what I mean? Because I would definitely want to do that. The acrylic is very beginner friendly. It doesn't dry too quickly. For me, I love the fact that it doesn't dry too quickly and it's not too loose at the same time. It's not too easy. It's not horrible to work with, you know what I mean? It's not you put it down, you place the bead down, and now you're fighting for your life to you actually can take your time doing it. and make sure the acrylic is setting the way you want it to. Which again, if you have a good acrylic brush, then you can work around that. Something that they don't tell you a lot is when working your acrylic. I learned this from Zanny Nails. If you're seeing this, girl, I love you. When you're working with acrylic, you always need to consistently be dipping your brush in the monomer as you're working. I didn't learn that, and I had to learn that the hard way. When you don't do this, it ultimately makes your acrylic brush harder to work with, and it gets gunk inside. Like, it's easier to get gunk inside, like excess acrylic. It's easier for us to get damaged because you know, you're not working with it the way you should be, which I realized, like, when I was doing when I wasn't really working the acrylic bead the way I needed to, I was ultimately stopping and trying to clean my brush in between a set so many times. Whereas when you put the monomer on the brush constantly and you're working the bead, then that works. This being said, when working with acrylic on monomer on an acrylic brush, you want to make sure that it's not too much monomer on the brush, because then it results in loose beads. But I can always give you a tutorial video on that another time if you really want to. I might as well just do it anyways, because, you know, I think it's really fundamental to learn stuff like this, especially as sometimes there are a lot of us who want to do nails like me, who can't just go straight to school for it, or can't get classes, because honestly, I don't want to go to school for it, but I would take classes, get my certification that way. So yeah, I find it very, very, like, impactful to learn a lot about nail growth, because if you really do love doing nails the way I love doing nails, or the way any other nail tech loves doing nails, you would take the time to educate yourself on these things so that you're not harming your clients. It's really important that gets instilled in a lot of service providers, because I've been hearing a lot about service providers not doing what they should be. You know what I mean? Okay. Getting back on track, that leads me to monomer. So for monomer, I used to use Mia Secret's coffee scented monomer. I love that monomer. That is a good monomer. But I recently tried Saviland's liquid monomer, 100% EMA monomer. I know a lot of people have talked about this. There's a fine difference between, a very big difference between EMA and MMA. MMA we don't use. MMA monomer results in, when you soak off, okay, so this is how you know it's MMA monomer. When you're soaking off a nail and it gets gooey and gunky and it doesn't flake off like EMA monomer, then that's how you know that you're using MMA. MMA is really bad for the nail beds. It's really bad for your nails. It's toxic. I'll put it like that, toxic. So really try to stem away from MMA monomer, which, and again, you should be using brands that are certified in the nail industry, like Saviland, like Mia Secret, like V Beauty Pure, and like Not Polished, like Zanny Nails and Not Polished. Like, you should be using those kinds of brands, not some random brand that you never heard of before. Like, it's not popular. You know what I mean? So yeah. I love their monomer. I think it works the best for me. It's odor free. It does still smell like monomer. But yeah, this monomer has jojoba oil, castor oil, and vitamin E in it. So I love using this because it helps grow out my clients' nails. For example, I don't know if you can see that. I've only had this set for 2 weeks. Barely even 2 weeks. My birthday was literally just this month, and my nails are already like growing out beautifully. To pair with it, I got, this comes in a pack too, the Monomer Odor Neutralizer. This is Ocean Breeze. Saviland has their own like droplets, so basically you're gonna put the droplets in, then you put your acrylic in, your monomer in, and it basically diminishes the strong scent of Monomer, makes it easier to work with. I'm still looking for a brand that completely, like, no monomer scent, but it's still very helpful for people who do nails, like, at home, like me, or on campus, like me, or, like, somewhere else that, you know, the smell can be bothersome to some people. Honestly, I think it's always great to explore. It's always good to pair brands with each other. Like, if you're using Saviland monomer, you should be using Saviland acrylic. Sometimes you might have your own favorite acrylic, you might have your own favorite monomer, but like, I'm not gonna say you should be, but like, it's good to use it because then that monomer is made for that acrylic, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier with that acrylic. Or like Mia Secret monomer with Mia Secret acrylic. Me using Saviland and Mia Secret monomer on not polished, for me, is very like hard. Not polished itself is very good, but it's very buttery, but like you gotta nail it. A lot of times when you are switching monomers, you have to be able to bring it back, you know what I mean? And you have to practice picking up beads a bit so that you get used to using that monomer with that acrylic brand. As far as polishes, I will say you can always start from the beginning. You don't have to have the strongest polishes, the thickest polishes, not thickest, but like opaque, most opaque polishes from the beginning. You can start with brands like Jodestone. So like me, I started off with Jowenti, right? Ooh, Jowenti. And then I moved to Jodestone. So, Jodestone is a really good, like, gel polish color, and it's easy to soak off. So, yeah. And I will say, when it comes to primer, I need more. But this is Mia Secret's Extra Bond. And for my dehydrator, I use IC Pro alcohol, 70%. Alcohol is a natural dehydrator, so I use that as well. Make sure when you're doing nails, you're dehydrating, then prepping, dehydrating, then priming. I like to dehydrate the glue on the tips, then prime. Glue, I do it in, I dehydrate, I glue on tips, file off excess glue. Filing off excess can prevent lifting. And then I put, not dehydrator, I put primer, and then I go in with the acrylic. That's simply just how I do it, how it works for me. There are other nail techs who do it other ways. I really suggest going out watching videos. Soon enough, I'll have my own video up. So that brings me to an end of this video. Just link all of the products below. They're relatively on the cheaper side. Probably the cheapest, best that you could get in the industry now. I will say these are like $7-10. I can't remember. These are like no more than $20. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for the next video. Remember, peace, love, and happiness is all that you need. Be faithful in everything that you do. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all, and have a great day, great week, great month, great everything.